Hey, the summer of tirerack sweepstakes rolls on. One winner has already been selected to win a set of 4 brand new tires, and now 2 more winners have the opportunity to win a set of 4 tires plus installation, taxes, and fees. It's valued at up to $1,500. Enter daily, which gets you a new entry into the contest every single day. To enter, you go to foxsportsradio.com to boost your chances to win. 2 more winners will take home a set of 4 new tires between now and August 27th, this being the first day of August. To enter and get those rules, visit foxsportsradio.com, sponsored by tirerack.com, the way tire buying should be. And consider this our obligatory Maller monologue on the crumbling, stumbling, and bumbling of the Pacific 12 Conference as the pigskin galaxy gets reorganized. There's an asteroid field coming through. So in-depth team coverage on the implosion of what was a staple of our lives as sports fans, the Pac-12. Even if you didn't give a crap about the Pac-12, you knew about it and you were aware of it. And every once in a while, they had a pretty good team that would compete at the big level. And now it's about to go away. The Big Ten is already swallowed up. UCLA and USC, the men of Troy, going to the Big Ten. Also, Oregon and Washington. They're going to the Big Ten as well. Now, among the new revelations, I saw this quote, and it got my attention, so I wanted to break it down. The president of the University of Washington, we don't normally talk about college presidents, but Anna Marie Cauce is
never heard of them.
Yeah, I had never heard of her either. But Anna Marie Cauce is her name. She told reporters recently that the reason the Washington Huskies are leaving the Pac-12 and going to the Big Ten, it's not just about dollars and cents, this woman said. She said, quote, when you have a deal that people are saying that one of the best aspects are that you can get out of it in 2 years, that tells you a lot, Cauce says. She was talking about the media rights deal between the Pac-12 and Apple that never happened. It'll be a great part of the documentary when they go over the rotting carcass of the Pac-12 and they look at what might have been, what could have happened, and what didn't happen. Then the president at the University of Washington said this was about national visibility for our players being on linear television so they can be seen, so they could have the national exposure. It was about stability. All these buzzwords the woman saying there. All right, so let us discuss the question. The University of Washington president saying that the Big Ten move was not about the money. Are you in or out on that particular take? Are you in or out on that take? So I am out, way out, way out on that take. I've got Speakeasy, we've got Cooties, and Toothless. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make an apple pie, a delicious apple pie, a la mode, little vanilla ice cream on the side, perfect on a summer day, summer night. That's the way to go. So, number one. Number one. So, we're clearly out on it. That is a special level of chutzpah. It is for the president of the University of Washington, as my grandfather would say back in the day. Always remember this, and this is an important thing. A lot of people get confused by this. I don't understand why. I'd like to think you're smart. I assume you are. You're probably smarter than I am. But in sports, when they say, whoever they are, when they say it's not about the money, it's always about the money. When a free agent signs a contract, when a team decides to get rid of a player. They say, well, that's not about the money. You can't play anymore. Well, that's about the money. But in this case, it's obviously about the money. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no debate about it. Washington has a seat at the grown-ups table. Congratulations. They get to hang out with the cool kids. And you have the haves and the have-nots in college. It's all about college football. You have the haves and the have-nots, and they were invited to join a very special club. The Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference are running essentially a speakeasy. That's what it is, right? And in this case, the Huskies were given the password to say at the door, knock 3 times, and say Baba Ganoush, and you are allowed in, and you can bathe in bathtub gin at the Speakeasy. That's what it is. It's 2 conferences. You're going to have the Southeastern Conference, which is welcoming Oklahoma and Texas here, and you've got the Pac-12 going away and the Big Ten swallowing up the top teams in that conference. Now, if national visibility, to use the quote of the Washington president there, the school president, if national visibility and exposure are the reasons, those are the terms you're using, but those things both have money involved in them. Like the Apple television deal, and I have no idea what it was. It's a streaming service from what I've been told. It's going to be, the model would have been similar to the MLS, where the Pac-12 would make a good amount of money based on how many subscribers they were able to procure, like the MLS has, and that's why Messi is such a big deal for that league, because the money gets filtered down to everyone else and blah, blah, blah. But if the Apple TV package was a sweetheart deal, then Washington would have not gone to the Big 12. Hello? Right? If they had been given a bunch of gold bullion and the TV deal was a sweetheart deal, they would have stayed. Of course it's the money. And the Big Ten, how much visibility is there going to be in the Big Ten when the Big Ten is going to have Big Ten West, Big Ten East? It's going to be a monstrosity, a absolute monstrosity. And are people going to key in on Washington? No, they're going to key on the power teams, Ohio State, Michigan, and if Iowa has a good team, they'll get some attention. SC, if they've got a good team. But outside of that, I mean, Washington is going to be buried in the Big Ten, but they went for the money, which is fine. I don't blame them for that, but don't tell me it's not about the money when you're obviously doing it because of the money. Now, page 2 here. With all this consternation, and there's so many people that love college football that are flummoxed by the redistricting, the rewriting of the map. It's like every 10 years or whatever it is, the Congress, the politicians rewrite the map, the voting districts. So everything's changed. But who is getting the short end of the stick for this college football migration? It's an interesting question. The clear answer is the fan who likes going to road games. And now if you want to go to a road game, you have to wait on standby at the airport to get a flight across the country to see your team play. But, I mean, the fans don't matter, right? We know that. We don't matter as fans. Nobody cares about the fans. They think we're all a bunch of gullible suckers. It's not about the fans. It never is about the fans. They believe they have a captive audience. And market research has shown that your favorite university, whoever that might be, probably because you went there or your parents went there, whatever university it is, they are convinced that if your school moved to a conference where they have road games in Timbuktu and Pyongyang, that you would travel to Pyongyang, North Korea, to watch your team play, or Timbuktu, and you'd have a great time. Right? And the universities, they're the ones that have been kicked in the balls the most here. There are 2. There are 2 that have been diagnosed with cooties. Oregon State and Washington State. Those are the 2. The Pac-12 has been exposed as really the Pac-10, back to the old Pac-10 roots. Now, what do I mean by that? The Beavers and the Cougars. The Cougars are coming. The Cougars are coming. No, they're not. Considered albatrosses to everyone else in the Pac-10. How do we know that? What's our evidence? Well, the evidence is that there were people trying to save the Pac-12 as of a couple of days ago that were contacting the Big 12 and saying, hey, we want to move all these teams to the Big 12, but we'll leave Oregon State and Washington State behind. So in the eyes of the power brokers of the Pac-12 / really Pac-10, Corvallis and the Palouse have high levels of toxicity, and they want nothing to do with it. All right, final point. So we now go to the NCAA president, Charlie Baker. Charlie Baker, not the touchdown maker. He's just a career political guy, but he's got a cushy job now running the NCAA. He issued a prepared statement to Sports Illustrated on his business being up in flames right now, he emphasized his concerns with the realignment that's going on right now, as you might imagine. And then he gave the most bullcrap quote we've heard in some time. He said he's worried about this, and he wants to work to improve the areas in which the student athlete is being impacted, the well-being and the competitive equity issues is what he said. A lot of nonsense there. So the NCAA president saying that he has concerns about the conference realignment. Does that carry any muscle? Does it have any muscle to it? And the answer is no. No. Baker, Charlie Baker, is still using, I love this, he's using the student-athlete jargon like a big dummy when the players who are good are getting name, image, and likeness checks. They're getting paid, you moron. It's no longer student-athlete. It never was student-athlete. That was just a term you came up with to avoid having to pay out money in litigation. And you're still using that outdated term. What are you doing? And then he mixed in the equity term, which is a trendy word these days. But the bottom line is, the NCAA, which Charlie Baker runs, on this side of the microphone is a toothless institution. They are bystanders. They are hanging out with you and I, and they are rubberneckers. Like we're watching this 16-car pileup on the side of the interstate, and Charlie Baker, a career politician, what's he going to do? Write a sternly worded letter rebuking these moves? Yeah. Isn't that what political hacks normally do? The problem for Charlie Baker's got a lot of problems. The guy that runs the NCAA now, that operation, not only is it toothless, it's on the endangered species list. It's being hunted. It is antiquated. Football is where it's at, and they can do whatever they can create their own new organization to oversee college football and college sports because the NCAA and Charlie Baker, who's getting a nice fat check to run it, is an obsolete operation.